That's where all of our fight flight responses are. In fact, the more activity there is in the body, the more activity there's going to be in the mind. And so being able to move your awareness away from the mind, and that's going to take practice. Because when we're in our head, a lot of our body contracts because we're usually in there because we don't feel safe. And so the mind kicks up, but that's what the mind does. It kicks up and it's got all these strategies because this is going to begin to move you into your body and out of your head. Because that'll also allow you to recognize when you internally, when there's an internal part of you that needs something, so that you can give that to yourself, because it's far more effective than any of the strategies the mind wants to do. You'll notice once you begin to practice being able to quiet the mind by being in the body, that there's a different level of intelligence. There's just mind chatter, and then there's sort of that intuitive voice that is quieter, it's more grounded, and that will tell you, that will guide you, and you'll be able to notice the difference between that and mind chatter, which is like, what do we need to do? Well, quick, where's your pen and paper? We need to, because the mind just wants to move you away. It doesn't want you to experience anything, because the mind is essentially created, it's the ego. And so it's been pushed all these other things into the shadow. And it doesn't want to look at them. Manifestation is a lot easier if you get out of the mind. The mind only has the power to create because we give our thoughts power. We give them energy. But if you stop giving them energy outside of the point of creation, this is what I want, and then just come to peace, and coming back to peace, and coming back to peace, then this has far more power to create, and you don't drive yourself crazy trying to like fight with everything that's going on. Because all the thoughts that you're fighting with, it's all just energy from the body. And that's why there is no end in sight to fighting with it at the mind level. The issue is we don't want to feel it because our mind is telling a really terrifying story.
Yes.
And we're buying into it. But first, you have to be willing to feel the other one. So you feel both, so that you come to that neutral point.
Mhm.
This is where creation is most powerful, because it's the reason they say we're never here to solve a problem with manifesting. Because the minute you solve a problem, your focus is on the problem, not the outcome. And if you consider the observer effect is essentially something, it collapses into reality the moment you have an impression of it. So if you have an impression of a problem, you can never manifest the opposite, because you've collapsed it into a problem. And that's the power in neutralizing it, because now it's just possibility. It's both and it's neither. Both the problem and the solution exist within the same sphere. And so now that means it's possibility. Does that make sense?